Hey everybody, this is Gary Kay, and you're listening to and watching a special video edition of my Rants and Raves podcast. I'm joined today with Kurt DeYoung, who's the VP of Channels at Barco. How you doing, Kurt?
Great. How are you today, Gary?
I'm doing well, thank you. First off, I'm wearing my Rise of the Skywalker t-shirt. As you know, the movie comes out in December.
I like it.
Big Star Wars fan. I thought, after being at a trade show and being in my rave garb for a week, I thought I could wear something a little bit more relaxed. But I do still have this InfoComm stuff here because we are talking about InfoComm. And Barco, I was honored to present in your booth on Friday a session on AV over IP. And I think a lot of people don't realize kind of Barco invented that space with the click share. That was a big central part of your booth this year.
Yeah, it really was. We really tried to give everyone a good impression of all of the different use cases for ClickShare within the enterprise this year, really from the huddle space all the way up to the boardroom space. And our theme this year was freedom, not only freedom in the platform that you choose of the 5 different ClickShare models that we have available in the market today, but also a freedom on how you integrate those into your enterprise network and manage them in your enterprise network. So
yeah. In fact, you launched a cloud management system, and that's a big deal because that's a big area of when you have an organization that's managing multiple sites, multiple units at multiple sites. That's going to simplify it quite a bit. I guess that's what you're aiming it at.
Absolutely. I think that's, my background here at Barco is really from the healthcare business. And we had a management platform in healthcare that allowed us to manage diagnostic monitors and their ability to show diagnostic imaging the right way. And I think with ClickShare, it's very similar. The use case is different and the application set is different, but the intention of being able to manage large enterprise deployments of any asset is a critical part of how you get that product deployed, how it's used, and how the information technology teams or the AV teams are going to manage large deployments, especially in a decentralized type of commercial environment, which many of our clients are working in.
Yeah, and of course, Barco's known for their displays. One of the coolest displays you had in your booth, by the way, all of our InfoComm coverage, including all the videos we shot in the Barco booth at ravepubs.com/InfoComm2019 right here. You could just do Barco in the video search window. You had an image mapped image, and I don't know that a lot of people realize what they were looking at unless they really looked at it for more than a minute.
Yeah.
Because it looked like just a regular old image mapped image. However, the screen was split. If you looked carefully, it was coming from 3 different sources. You had the UDM and UDX on the bottom, which UDX is your 40K lumen 3-chip DLP. UDM is your new less brighter 3-chip DLP, which are 15,000, 20,000 lumen. But at the top, you were generating the image from F80s. Now, that's the reason why that's a big deal is that that's a single chip product. So you were showing half of the image from 2 3-chip products, the other half of the image from a single chip product. And the colorimetry, uniformity, and balance of the image was shocking. In fact, I think most people probably just walked by it and said, "Oh, there's another image mapping demo," not realizing that you're doing it from 2 totally different kinds of sources.
Yeah. We were excited how that turned out. I mean, we've tried to do some unique things with projection. Last year, we had the projected ceiling, which was a nice feature and really showed off the UDX platform because that was our main push in 2018. This year, we've started to move our projection product line downstream a little bit. So you mentioned the UDM. That's a brand new platform that's going to be launching in Q3. 14 and 22K lumens, but in a 3-chip variety. And then, for us to make that top section up with blended single chip and customers not really realizing what they're seeing color representation from 2 extremely bright 3-chip high-end projectors and have them look very, very similar to mid-range kind of 12,000 lumen products that are blended so that we matched up the brightness, but the color clarity between the single chip and the 3-chip was spot on. And a lot of that is kind of our internal kind of philosophy around making projectors and ensuring that we're producing the best quality image we can. And then all of that imaging was being run off of our image processing gear. So that was a fully owned kind of Barco solution there to show the integration community the types of things that they can do and the creativity that they can really pull off with their content creation partners when they look at the full Barco technology stack.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how many people actually noticed what they were looking at, because quite honestly, I felt like the signage could have been better, because I think it was so impressive that I don't think people realized what you were trying to show there, and I kind of just stumbled on it. Do you feel like you got enough understanding of what they were looking at? Do you think people knew what they were really looking at there?
Once we stopped them and showed them what we were doing and explained kind of the concept of one chip's on the top, three chips on the bottom, the eyes kind of lit up. So you're right, signage could have been a little bit better to kind of just explain what we were doing top and bottom. But the people that we were able to interface with and that were really there for projection and understand kind of the complexity around projection, I think they really appreciated it once they understood kind of how we had built that setup.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I'll see if I can find some B-roll to attach to this podcast, this video cast. And then LED obviously had a big part of the booth.
Yep.
You showed the new XT series LED. Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, we've been kind of, our brand has been an LED supplier for a very long time, but we've kind of been in and out of the market to some degree. And I think we've kind of 2 years ago we had it plastered on the entire front of the InfoComm booth. Last year was very limited. This year we're excited to launch the XT series platform, which is going to be a brand new entrant for us in the LED space. It's a full indoor product, so we're not going to get into the outdoor LED business. That's not really where we can add value, and we're really excited about pairing this new platform up with our InfiniPix processing. And we still feel like we're one of the best companies in the processing business, whether it's scaling large kind of the large displays and warping and blending multiple projectors for live events, but even simple scaling for LED installations. We still feel like we've got a really good stack there, and the InfiniPix processing that's behind every one of those LED panels, second to none in the industry. We feel like, from a color clarity perspective, local dimming, all of the things that are difficult to do with LED, and it's easy to put up a big bright picture, but it's difficult to make that picture spot on with respect to brand, Pantone colors, and things along those lines.
Yeah, in fact, I would issue a warning a little bit to the industry, because if you walked around InfoComm, there are about 50 LED companies there, and only about 5 or maybe a handful of them or more can provide direct service and support outside of supplying the product.
Yep.
Not to call out any companies by name, but I think that's going to be a big problem in the future if you rely on all these inexpensive products. Although Barco is known as a high-end company, a lot of people may not know that you have this G60 series of, going back to projectors in just a second.
Sure.
Which is sort of, I don't want to call it your cheap line, but your entry level line, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
is sort of on that take. Tell me about that, because that seems to be bringing you into a different space for a bit.
Yeah, and that's been a great entrant for us this year. We started shipping in the January timeframe. It's 7, 8, and 10,000 lumen single chip DLP, so we're still committed to that DLP light engine, laser based, so we're getting away from the lamps, but comes in a white and black chassis, and we feel like we've had some of the high end products, and we've done a very good job on that side for the engineering perspective, but we've always had this kind of gap in this mid range platform. So we were excited to launch the G60. The market is really responding very well to it. We've done some nice shootouts with that in some end user customer engagements, and the feedback has been super positive so far. So we're excited about the response we got from it this week at InfoComm, but more importantly, the response that the integration market has shown with that projector. We're very excited about that. So we can provide an integrator an opportunity to integrate Barco projectors across an enterprise, as opposed to just in the big auditorium installation or in a larger environment. We can go down to the classroom. It has a good education, good educational performance, as well as house of worship. And both of those markets, we haven't been as involved in the education space, obviously, but in the house of worship market, we've typically been a pretty solid supplier in that space. And one of the brands that the house of worship market really looks at as fit and designed for their types of applications. And there's a lot of smaller projection needs in those types of customer bases as well.
Yeah, one other thing I want to mention about, you had a very impressive setup with the Unity. Now, the Unicy product was late to the market compared to other video wall products, but your unique offering was sort of a prepackaged, simple to install and easy. Maybe not simple to install, simple to align is
Yes.
a better way to put it.
Yep.
Because video walls are definitely, there's a bit of an art to that. So tell me where we are in the life cycle of Unicy and sort of how that's going.
Well, Unicy, you're right. We were a little bit late to the game, but we wanted to bring value into the market, right? We're never going to be, we don't like to be a Me Too solution. We like to innovate and bring value into the community. So Unicy really gave us an opportunity to do that. As you said, it was designed with, we looked at the video wall market and we said, okay, where can we add value? Where can we improve things? And there were really a couple of different things that we felt like we could put our stamp of approval on. One was the mount, so we engineered it from the back to the front. So we started at the mount. We tried to figure out what was wrong in the video wall market. How do we align these things up? But more importantly, how do we service them long term? So if you think about the middle screen of a 3x3 going out, it makes it very, very difficult for the integration community to service that product. So with the Unicy mount product, we fixed that, so you can get to a discrete panel, remove just that one, and put it back in place. And through our color calibration technology called SenseX, which is common across the entire video wall platform from Barco, every panel on that wall will continue to match over time. Even if you do have to replace one, 2 years after you do the initial installation, which is very common, you're going to have to replace it. But how do you get that panel to match the rest of the wall performance? So with SenseX, we can do that. And the other thing that's common across the entire LCD product line is modularity with respect to the input-output board, as well as the power supply. So those are off board from the LCMs, from the liquid crystal modules or the LCD panels themselves. So over time, typically one of those things is going to fail, but not all of those things are going to fail. So we've given the integration community an opportunity to have a better serviceability plan long-term because of the mount's performance, but also only replace really what you need to when it needs to be replaced, and not just throw the entire kit away instead of just replacing what has broken. And that's, it sounds odd, but that's one of the things we're trying to improve our sustainability from a corporate perspective. And that's not only from, sales results and things like that, but it's also people is a big deal for us, but the environment is an even bigger deal for us. So we've set green targets within our business, and Unicy was one of the first products that we designed to, comply with our, new green standards. And we didn't see a reason to replace things that didn't need to be replaced just because they're attached to the screen.
Well, Kurt, I appreciate you doing this. One other thing I would like to mention is Barco is a big supporter of the AVIXA Foundation's 5K this year, which is a first-time event. We had 500 people participate in that.
Yep.
Awesome for a first-year event. But Barco actually won the Spirit Award.
We did.
And they did have people. They had, I don't know, a few dozen people out there with cowbells cheering everyone as they came in. Yep. In addition to, you had, I don't know, at least 20 or 30 people running the race. So I think it was a success on your side as well.
We did, and I think it's I'm a runner. I know you're a runner. I saw you there as well. It was a hot day. We had the cotton shirts, so they weren't wicking, but we all looked uniform, so we were a little soaked at the end of the race. But we had 30 proud Barconians out there cheering the team on and cheering the other participants on, and we were excited that AVIXA, to support the AVIXA Foundation and the event, and we look forward to next year's event, I guess, in Vegas. So we'll be upgrading the shirts to a wicking fiber in Vegas, though.
Well, of course, you can see Barco and all their stuff at barco.com. Like I said, I will put in a link to all the videos we shot in the Barco booth this year's show in the description of this podcast. Kurt, thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you, and you have a great day as well.